Somebody, somewhere, has looked you dead in the eye and said it. Renting, you are just throwing money away. Maybe it was your uncle at dinner. Maybe a coworker who bought a condo and has not shut up about it since. Maybe it was your own brain at 2 in the morning. And it stings, because it sounds so obviously true. You pay rent, the month ends, the money is gone, and you own nothing. Meanwhile, the homeowner is building wealth. Case closed, right? Here is the problem. It is wrong, not romantically wrong, mathematically wrong. Buying a home quietly throws away staggering piles of money too. You just never get an itemized receipt for it. The homeowner is setting cash on fire in a room you are not allowed to see. Today I will show you exactly where a buyer's money actually goes, where this myth came from, and the simple rule of thumb that tells you when renting is the smarter math. Quick thing first, because I have to. Everything I am about to say is general information and my own opinion. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I do not know your situation, your city, or your life. I am not going to tell you to rent, and I am not going to tell you to buy. I am only going to tell you that the blanket rule is a lie. Check the math against your own numbers, and if I get a detail wrong, roast me in the comments. I am a cartoon man with a round head, not a mortgage broker. And no, I will not beg you to subscribe at the end, even though I will want to, badly. Okay, let us go open the room nobody wants you to see. Let us start with the homeowner's secret receipt, the one nobody frames on the wall. When a renter pays, the whole payment is gone. Fair. But people assume the buyer's mortgage payment all turns into wealth. It does not. A mortgage payment is split into 2 piles. Principal, that part pays down the house. That is real. That becomes yours. And interest, that part is rent. Rent you pay to the bank for borrowing the money. And here is the brutal twist. In the early years of a loan, the payment is mostly interest. Not half, mostly. You can pay your mortgage faithfully for years, and watch almost the whole thing vanish into the bank's pocket, with barely a dent in what you owe. That is throwing money away. It just has a respectable name on it, and we are only getting started. Property taxes, gone every year, forever, even after the house is paid off. Homeowner's insurance, gone. Maintenance, the roof, the water heater, the surprise $4,000 plumbing adventure, gone. Then the part that should make you laugh out loud. Buying and selling a house costs a fortune by itself. Closing costs, agent commissions, transfer fees. Selling a home can hand thousands of dollars straight to other people just for the privilege of moving. None of that builds you a single dollar of wealth. So the renter throws money away in plain sight. The buyer throws money away in a sealed envelope marked investment. Both of you are paying for shelter. One of you just has better branding. Okay, so buying leaks money too. But renting still leaves you with nothing, right? Wrong again. And this is the part that flips the whole story. Renting does not just cost less in those hidden ways. It hands you back 2 things the buyer quietly gives up. Number 1, a giant pile of cash that is not trapped in a wall. To buy, you usually need a big down payment, tens of thousands of dollars, plus all those closing costs. A renter does not. So the renter is sitting on a stack of money the buyer just locked inside a house. And money that is not trapped can be invested. This is the famous rent and invest the difference. If renting is cheaper than owning that same place, you take the difference every month and you put it to work in an index fund, in a retirement account, anywhere that grows. Now the renter is building wealth too, just in a different room, one that does not need a new roof. And number 2, flexibility. The thing nobody puts a price on, that is worth a fortune. A renter can take the dream job in another city with 30 days notice. A homeowner has to sell a house first, which can take months and cost thousands, or become a long-distance landlord, which is a part-time job nobody asked for. A house is an anchor. Sometimes an anchor is exactly what you want, and sometimes an anchor is just a very heavy thing tied to your leg while life sails away. Renting is paying for the freedom to move. That is not throwing money away. That is buying an option. So if the math is this close, why does everyone treat renting like failure? Why does it feel shameful, like you are doing adulthood wrong? Here is my honest read on it. This belief is not ancient wisdom. It is a marketing campaign that got old enough to feel like a fact. Go back to the years after World War II. Suddenly there were millions of soldiers coming home, a country that wanted to grow, and a brand new idea to sell: the suburb. Owning a home with a little lawn became the official picture of success, the American dream, in one image. Loans got easier, neighborhoods got built, and the message was everywhere. A real adult buys a house. A responsible person owns. Renting is for the young, the broke, the not quite there yet. And look, there were good reasons behind some of it. But it was also, very deliberately, a sales pitch. Builders wanted to build. Banks wanted to lend. An entire economy got pointed at one idea. Everybody, buy. Do that for a few generations, and the sales pitch stops sounding like a pitch. It starts sounding like your grandfather. Like common sense. Like morality. So when your uncle says renting is throwing money away, he is not quoting a spreadsheet. He is quoting an advertisement from before he was born. It worked so well it disappeared. The best marketing always does. It stops being an ad and starts being just the way things are. Now let me hand you the actual tool. Because it depends is true but useless, and you came here for a number. There is a famous rule of thumb for this, and once you have it, you can never be bullied at a dinner table again. It is called the 5% rule. Here is the whole thing. The yearly cost of owning a home, the part you never get back, tends to land around 5% of the home's value. Where does 5 come from? Roughly 3 pieces. About 1% a year in property taxes, about 1% a year in maintenance, and about 3% for the cost of the money itself, the interest you pay, plus the return your down payment could have earned somewhere else. Add it up, around 5%. So here is the magic move. Take the price of the home you are dreaming about, multiply it by 5%, then divide by 12. That number is your break-even rent. If you can rent the same kind of place for less than that, the math says renting is the smarter financial move, as long as you actually invest the difference. If renting costs more than that number, owning starts to win. Picture a $500,000 home. 5% is $25,000 a year. Divide by 12, that is a bit over $2,000 a month. Just gone, just to own it. If you can rent that exact place for less than that, the renter is not the fool in the room. The renter might be the smartest one there. And this is exactly why those rent versus buy calculators give different answers in different cities. In some markets, buying wins easily. In others, renting wins by a mile. The blanket rule, renting is always throwing money away, is the one answer that is wrong, literally everywhere. Here is the twist that should actually set you free. Renting is not the waiting room for your real life. It is a valid financial strategy that grown, smart, wealthy people choose on purpose. Not because they cannot afford to buy, because they ran the numbers and buying did not win. Once you stop seeing renting as failure, the guilt just evaporates. You are not behind. You are not throwing your life away. You are paying for shelter and flexibility, while your money grows somewhere that does not leak. And owning is still wonderful, for the right person, in the right place, at the right time. If you plan to stay put for a decade, if you want a place nobody can make you leave, if the math in your city works, buy the house. Genuinely. Stability has real value, and the numbers are not the only thing that matters. The point was never renting good, buying bad. The point is that renting is throwing money away is a slogan, not a calculation. Now, one honest note, because I am not a cartoon liar. Renting only wins if you actually invest the difference. If you rent cheap and then blow the savings on nonsense, the homeowner quietly wins by accident, because their house forced them to save. So the freedom comes with a small homework assignment. Invest the gap. Do that, and renting is not a consolation prize. It is just one of 2 perfectly respectable doors, and you finally get to pick based on math and your actual life, not on a guilt trip from a relative who saw a poster in 1955. So let us put this expensive little guilt trip to bed for good. You are not throwing money away. You are not failing at adulthood. You are not behind the smug guy with the condo. Here is the whole story in one breath. Buying throws away money too. Interest, taxes, maintenance, and fat fees, all hidden behind the word investment. Renting frees up cash to invest and buys you the freedom to move. The shame around renting is a post-war marketing campaign that got old enough to feel like the truth. And the 5% rule tells you, in actual numbers, which choice wins in your city. So here is the plan. Run the 5% math. Compare it to real rent. Pick the door that wins for your life, and then invest the difference either way. This was wrong all along. The thing everyone believes. Fact-checked. Go rent or go buy. Just stop letting a slogan from before you were born make the decision.